What if I told you that you can post every day without having to create every day? Right now, you're attempting to script, film, edit all on the same day, and you're increasingly becoming frustrated with the process. And I can tell you that down this path, you will only lead to burnout. But what if I told you that there was a smarter way, a system that allows you to take one idea and turn it into 7 amazing posts? Let's not waste any time and go straight into post number 1, the source. I thought long and hard about which format to use as an example for this video. I wanted one that was most relevant to all of you, and I've realized very quickly that the vlog format is your favorite, so I am going to use the vlog as the source. This means that the process you're familiar with, the idea of scripting, filming, and editing, you're going to have to do that for this video. This is where we're putting in our most amount of effort. But don't worry, I'll break down exactly how we can take this amount of effort and again, turn it into 7 amazing posts. But let me first break down how you can make a good vlog. You can choose a day that you want to film, and then you can bring about your phone or your camera and simply record 5 to 15 second clips. Now you may be asking, what do I actually film? I got you. There are 3 main angles that I want you to take every single time that you are filming a particular action. It's very quick, but it'll give you so much diversity when you go to edit. Those 3 angles are a wide shot, a close-up shot, and a POV shot. So as you are naturally progressing throughout the day, you do not have to actually record yourself for long extended periods of time. Nobody has the phone storage for that. But instead, think 5 to 15 second clips in those 3 angles. You can think 8 to 10 different actions throughout the day, and that is more than enough to give you a ton of variety for really good, engaging content. But this is just the first part. Then we have to think about which message are we putting on top of this video, because we cannot treat a vlog like a selfish piece of content. A lot of people are tempted to say, hey, I woke up at 9 a.m. and then I went to work and this is what I did at 11 a.m. Then I had lunch. This is what it looked like at 12 p.m. and at 3 p.m. I went for a workout. But that is a selfish piece of content. Instead, I want you to think about a selfless piece of content, a piece of content that can actually provide value to others. And that's the message we want to put on top of the vlog. This is likely going to be a narrative form. Let me give you a very quick example of this. Let's say that you are a mom, and for this video, you want to show a routine that you use to manage your busy lifestyle. This includes your family life, this includes your career, and this includes your wellness. As people are learning about your routine, though, it is a great angle for people to actually consume, so other moms out there are going to find that relevant and they'll learn something from that video. The idea of showcasing a routine and teaching potentially systems or habits applies to anyone across different demographics as well. Now that you have this video together, you have completed the source, the original vlog. What's beautiful is that we can take that video and repurpose it into another piece of content. That leads us to our second post, the green screen. I simply want you to take a short clip from your vlog that you can react to. On every single platform, there are green screen features embedded in it, so it's super easy for you to edit. So perhaps you are somebody that wants to showcase your morning routine, and perhaps you have an interesting take on it. You may be somebody who wakes up and immediately goes outside to go for a walk. You do this because you believe that you should have sunlight first thing in the morning. You are also trying to get your heart rate up. You're trying to get moving. But what's beautiful is you can take that reaction and actually execute it in a multitude of different angles. You could take it in a scientific angle. You could also take it from a discipline angle. You could take it from a habits angle. You could take it from a motivational angle. So as you play a small clip of that vlog, you're simply reacting to it and you're actually teaching a hyper-specific moment in that routine. You get people to understand how you process, how you operate, why you behave a certain way. And especially if other people could use that benefit, that now you are providing them value. But even if they don't necessarily agree with you, you may open up a new perspective, and again, that is valuable. Now you might be somebody that's considering the fact that your life isn't interesting enough. Now I could go on a whole entire rant about why you're wrong, but I want to actually address this very quickly. Perhaps you're somebody that wakes up in the morning and you actually just pick up your phone and you doom scroll for 15 minutes. And you think to yourself, well, that's not worth documenting. I would disagree, because I would say that probably 90% of the population does the exact same thing. So perhaps your angle is completely different as you do the reaction. Perhaps you're saying something along the lines of, the truth is I pick up my phone for 10 to 15 minutes. I allow myself to doom scroll. I know it's not the right thing to do, but to be honest, I don't mind a slower start to my mornings. Regardless, now you have a green screen video and you didn't necessarily do any additional work outside of potentially one talking clip. Now let's move on to the third piece of content that you can repurpose. This is called the lesson, and this will be your very first carousel post. Now I could have cheated here and say that you could do do multiple carousels because it is absolutely true. But for this video's sake, I am saying that you can repurpose for one carousel. So what you can do is, because you have so much variety in the way that you filmed your vlog, as I told you across those three angles, the wide shot, the close-up shot, and the POV shot, you can simply take screenshots of those moments. You can then have them in their own individual frames throughout a carousel, and now you can potentially teach a lesson on top. There are so many ways that you can provide value with a carousel, but the simplest way is actually to utilize lists. So for example, you may say, here are the 5 best ways to meal prep on a budget. And the following frames would actually have pictures of you from the vlog, but also listed out details of your tactics. Then the final frame may be a call to action with your face as well. I actually have a meta partner who has told me that carousels will continuously be pushed out in 2026 as a way to garner more exposure. So I would take that and adopt that into your strategy if you haven't done so already. Number 4, the caption video. This is the easiest, the lowest effort, and I would encourage you to reserve these for the days that you're feeling very, very, very low or very depleted. You've likely seen these pieces of content before. There's a singular B-roll on screen, then you have a text on top that reads as a hook, and then the value is provided within the caption, and those captions could be paragraphs long. There's always this argument that these videos are not valuable, or these videos are not worth as a creator to try and attempt to do, that it's a lazy piece of content. There are so many reasons that I would disagree with that commentary, but I want to point out this. I actually consume information very fast. I prefer it that way. So a lot of my videos I'm watching at 2.5x speed. So I really do like caption videos because I can read at my own pace. I can read areas very fast. I can slow down in areas I want to emphasize, and I can even reread certain lines without having to wait for someone to say it aloud. So there's inherent value in caption videos, and if they work, why not use it? So in this case, you've probably guessed it, you're simply going to take a visual from that vlog that you find to be really interesting. You can place that, again, just you need one singular B-roll. You'll put text on top as a hook, and then you'll provide the value in the caption. Here's a quick little tip for these videos to make them super engaging. Even if you are using a singular B-roll, you can actually make the clip quite dynamic by doing 0.6 second cuts. If you can place them throughout the video, it actually creates this unique experience where it is actually just one scene, but it is visually much more engaging. Number 5, the storytelling post. If you have yet to see last week's video, I would encourage you to watch it because I've literally given you the 5-step template to going viral. I've invented this silent film format, and many people have gotten millions and millions and millions and millions of views from it. I guarantee you've seen it on your Explore page, but you probably just didn't know where it was originated from, and now you have an opportunity to take that specific format. But to give you a very quick summary, these silent film formats don't require you to speak. It's actually heavily dependent on text, visuals, and also music. Guess what? You have all of the visuals from the vlog. You can reorder the clips to give it a different take or a different story, and then you can simply place text to actually drive the message home. Bonus points if you use a sound that has anticipatory effect, meaning that it has this rising action and then it has this drop, because then you can do a before and after transformation. I'll give you a very, very, very specific and kind of random example, but it's populating in my head as I say this, and perhaps it'll make this point incredibly clear. Perhaps in the vlog, you have an experience in which you are eating at home alone. You may also be cooking alone or working at your desk alone, and this could visually contrast perhaps later on in the night if you went out for dinner with your friends. And imagine, so we are just reordering the clips, and if we took the before for this instance of you being alone, and then this after in this instance, let's say being around the people that you love. Imagine if we created a message or an angle around how before you found yourself isolated, or you found yourself not being able to trust people, or you found yourself in a season of loneliness, and then today you can do like a transformation. It's the thought process behind now you're living life abundantly, you're living life connected with other people, you're living life where you can actually trust people and you feel safe. That is a cool little messaging transformation that we can utilize by just simply taking clips from that vlog. Now, of course, you're going to have your own angles that you want to portray, but all I'm saying is you can take clips from your vlog, reorder them, and craft that storyline. Now let's move on to number 6. This is the split screen video. Split screen videos are really great to compare, or I should say to contrast, two perspectives on one circumstance or one situation. Let me give you another random example that hopefully makes this incredibly clear. So let's use the example that I had said before. So perhaps you have clips of you eating and cooking at your home, and then you also have those clips where you're in a restaurant eating out with your friends. Imagine at the top of the split screen, you had yourself at home, and at the bottom, you had yourself out. And perhaps you're somebody that creates content with the angle that everyone can actually live a healthy lifestyle without being too restricted. So potentially then at the very top, as the frames move on, you're providing providing tips of how you can eat healthier in a non-restrictive way, but in a situation or an environment that is more controlled, like in your own home. Versus at the bottom, then as the frames move on, you can provide tips of how you can actually eat healthy when you don't have as much control. Perhaps you're telling them which food types to look for, or you're giving them healthy replacements for certain drinks. Regardless, there's two separate perspectives, top and bottom, that is on this one topic of eating healthy. It provides you a ton of value as the viewer in a short, concise way, but also it is super engaging. Now, lastly, I want to say for number 7, and it is story frames. I would say that if you have about 9 to 10 different scenes, you have about 3 separate angles for each, we're looking at 25 to 30 different clips. That's incredible amount of diversity that you can start to pull from and actually take snapshots of, or you could actually have rolling footage of and have amazing story frames. Now, to make stories really great, usually they're not singular frames and you have multiple frames that lined up to tell a story. Incredible, you can do that. Now, you could probably do 15 different stories, 15 different days, because you have all these different visuals that you can repurpose. Not to mention that stories are likely where you're making a lot of your sales. Not to mention that stories are a really great way to build rapport and connection with your audience. I hope you have seen what I've just done here. You can literally take one vlog and you can repurpose that amount of effort, that time, those clips, those visuals, and you can actually turn it into 7 amazing pieces of content. And that's me being conservative, because you could actually post multiple renditions of each of those 7 different types of posts. I hope that this video was helpful. I really want to be sure that yes, you care about your audience, but I care about you, and I want you to be able to sustain your success in the long term. That means we have to protect you from burning out, and hopefully we've done that here today. Leave some questions in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope that you guys all subscribe, and if you are serious about personal branding, if you're serious about building a business online, this is the place to be. I'll see you guys all at the top.